The countdown finished, but nothing's happening.
It's a bit late now.
Oh shit!
Good job.
I have no words for the imbeciles that we play with. Welcome to episode 31, I think.
31.
31 of Vaybaba. I'm your host, Gilded Bench. Welcome. We're joined as usual by Asapatenesis on my left, I think. Maybe
Hello.
my right, I don't know. Captain Gingerbeard, our DM up there.
Hello.
Captain Danface over on the side of him.
Hello.
And 3D Wibbly Face Steve Corbs up above as Walther.
I seem to have been abducted by aliens.
Indeed. But
Yeah.
we're
Or at
here.
least just...
Go on.
Sorry.
Or
at least his webcam has been anyway, but...
Bloody webcam.
No, it don't work, mate. You know.
Broke. It's broke. This parrot is dead. Anyway. I've lost my train of thought. Yeah. I'm just going to hand you over to Mike. He can do a recap and then we'll dive in.
Hi. Hello. We're short of Brian. You may remember from last week, Brian... Or last episode. Josiah. That's who he was playing, Josiah. Yes, unfortunately he can't join us tonight. He will be with us again in the future for episodes. His character isn't done with just yet, but he can't join us tonight. So I will be filling in for him with my own wee lovely Scottish accent.
I've heard worse.
I'm probably going to murder it.
From Ant.
Only just
Oi! You son of a bitch.
Oh, God. It begins.
To be fair,
Right.
if it was from Brant, it would have turned Welsh after the first 3 words.
Alright.
And then somehow swing into Italian, I beg.
I'm trying to incorporate all these things now. I'm going to have myself a wee dram down in the valleys. I can't do Italian though. I don't think that would probably... Oh, maybe a bolognese. A bolognese. A wee dram with the
I want a
bolognese.
sheet in the bed.
A sheet in the bed.
What a great start to the stream.
Let's just insult everyone.
Yeah.
Is there any groups or tropes
Okay.
or minorities we've not thrown something at now?
Nice. How much?
Oh my god.
Oh my god. Anyway, lady and gentlemen, shall we play some dungeons with potential dragons in it?
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
No
Let's do
dragons. No dragons, please.
Well, we'll see. Episode 30's recap, and then episode 31 gameplay. Last episode, the party began in the hangar bay of the Crusader. The officer they had last spoke with has dispersed the troops that were harassing them and informed them that once they are able to provide the coordinates for Vaybaba, and before they depart, they are to attend a meeting in one of the briefing rooms. However, as the officer leaves, they have other ideas as Nim the robot sneaks over to them. He informs them he's hacked into the ship's systems and located the detention level and their friends. He also informs them he has set a timer, and after 1 hour, the security systems that had previously hampered them would be disabled. They hatch a hasty rescue plan that involves quickly disabling several of the guards, polymorphing one of the guards into a sheep, and freeing all of the prisoners held, including a pilot that claims to have been locked up for some time for mistakes he had made. Thankful for his freedom, he offers to help the party escape. A plan is formed with Keswick where they take both ships and rendezvous at Vaybaba. They fight their way off the ship, and just as they reach the hangar bay, they find one last hurdle. A double-bladed wielding trooper, all in black, who promises they won't escape. However, Walther has other ideas and banishes him to the lowest planes of hell. Boarding the ship, the Devils Bane make good on their escape, and in some tense ship-to-ship combat, reminiscent of a ship escaping a giant space station from a certain popular movie franchise. They finally jump away and they arrive back overlooking their home world, and that is where we begin today.
Just like Jurassic Park.
Just like Jurassic Park. Just like Jurassic Park. So,
Ben, very happy right now, dancing.
I'm trying to stop yawning. That's why. I apologize. I just woke up very
I'm
early.
sorry that we bore you with
No,
D&D.
it's just I woke up very early. Sorry.
I suppose this episode will see the end of Lily, and Bana won't have to be bored anymore.
And then I can sleep.
Yeah, then you can sleep.
Uh,
Arriving back at your home world, how do you feel? Joy, overwhelmed at the sight? Tell me how you all feel about this. This is the first time you've seen the world you grew up on from this view. The oceans, the land masses, all swirled, and the marbling effect of the clouds, the swirl over the ground beneath. How do you feel at this sight? It must be quite overwhelming for each character.
It's a bit reminiscent of the vision that I had. That's probably I will have seen it vaguely from this
Welcome
angle before.
to the ecosystem.
So, yeah, perspective.
Yeah, it's built like a map, but really, really big.
Yeah, very true.
Can we recognize any particular areas, land masses?
Yeah, I mean, you sort of enter an orbit around the world. Josiah sort of takes you in like a little orbit around, and so you can sort of identify bits and bobs where I know that place, and I can land there, and or that's where we need to go. That's where actually that could be growing land. That could be that could be Buckwind. That could be where the ship is.
you see Lily take out a little notebook and she starts. You can see that she's really fascinated, totally not aware what happened around her, and she just writes things down. And she's like, oh, so very, very excited and just noting down things that I see because it's such a big world and so many different species of animals, oceans, everything.
This is the first time you're seeing this. You've never
Yes,
really
yeah.
seen it from this angle before.
Exactly.
So it's quite mind blowing. How
Yeah.
does Logan feel about it?
Logan, being brought up the way he was brought up in sort of the pits and dungeons and things like that, the highest he has ever been is on that airship, and he could still, he wasn't far above the tops of the trees. He is scared. He's moving away from the windows. He's going sort of where he can't see out, like a storeroom or something similar.
Keenan, look, there is a crater there. Is that where Meat Leaf fell over onto his ass?
Well, as you orbit the world, you see other continents well away from growing land on the other side of the world. Places you may have heard of from being around seafarers. Largely, you've concentrated on this one green continent. But the first time you're seeing polar regions, desert-like areas, vast expanses of ocean. You instruct Josiah on where you want to land, and from the window pointed out as you begin to recognise from this strange view your world below. You all sit or brace yourselves as best as you can for re-entry, and eventually you come through the cloud layer and fly over the island of Buckwind, pointing at the town of Waterhold. As Josiah brings the ship around and he lands just outside the town, as it's the only clear area to do so. You open the boarding ramp and are instantly greeted by the smell of dewy grass, the feeling of warm air, and a nice sunny late spring, early summer's morning. Birds are singing in the nearby trees, and you instantly feel at home. However, as you disembark, this peace and tranquility are instantly shattered as naval men are rushing to surround the ship, armed with flintlock rifles, small cannons. They on carriages, and they surround you. And instead of a welcome, you receive, "Who are you? What is this?" You could make your way down the ramp and speak to this person if you like.
I'm going to be at the back, sort of, because of being away from the window, and sort of hear the commotion and just sort of peep out, see what the others do.
I slowly walk down the ramp, I guess, and making sure my hands are empty and visible.
You give me a
Jeez.
just a straight up intelligence, because it's not really history or nothing like that. It's recent history, but it's whether you've retained this knowledge from HK.
11.
Yeah, I think it's not particularly tough check. You recognise this is you met him before in the naval sort of offices in Waterhold. This is Captain McCready. He's one of the officers, the upper officers in the Admiralty, and he's very very officer looking if in terms of naval outfits. He's got a nice jacket on, like a formal jacket, a ruffled white shirt, black pants, longer boots. He's got long blonde hair tied back, very clean shaven. And if you sort of appear, he doesn't recognise you, and so he doesn't ask anyone to stand down. But who are you? Identify yourself.
Captain McCready, you won't recognise me. I used to be a big robot fella, but you might recognise Walther here, my friend.
Yeah, we have met before, I think, a little while ago, but...
He does recognise Walther. He does recognise Walther. I don't remember your name.
It's Walther.
No. Oh, Walt. Sorry, I didn't realize you said Walther. Actually, in character. Walther. Yes. Oh, what are they? You're going by the name. Oh, what's it now? The Devils Bane. We've had reports of. Is that correct?
We've been known to go by that name, yeah.
And what are the rest of you? Where are you? Is it just you two on board? Whatever this is.
On hearing that he's sort of friendly and that they're back on, terra firma, Logan will sort of a bit shakily, but make his way out into the view.
Ah, yes. Okay. Yeah. He sort of waves. Stand down. Stand down.
I come
I
out
don't know what
to behind Logan.
Seeing you, he sort of bows. My lady, I'm sorry. Sorry, we've never seen anything quite like this before.
Oh, I'm not surprised. We hadn't before a few days ago.
No problem. It's better to be safe than sorry.
Well, yes, we saw something come out of the sky. It would look like it was red hot. It was glowing. And fire and smoke. We didn't know what the hell it was. So as you were coming down here, we assembled troops to try and. Anyway, yes, we were here now. I think Josiah would probably come down the ramp as well. Who's this? Who is this fellow with you?
Oh, this is Josiah. We've picked up a few people along the way, lost a few people. You know how it is.
He probably just waves. Hello.
In Scottish.
The Scottish way is very differently, you see.
They do. I want to see that now.
I'm not doing anything that's going to offend anybody this time.
No, you might recognize him as a helmsman of a kind.
Yes.
Certainly. I mean, because Josiah's obviously his clothes are probably a lot different than yours as well. He's not wearing like this kind of like Renaissance period style clothing. He's probably more Han Solo-esque, I'd imagine. I think from what Brian explained to me. They probably he looks a bit strange, doesn't he? But never mind. And yes, okay, obviously. Well, I don't really know what to do about it. It's a bit of an odd one, really. I mean, are there any other surprises we can expect?
Well, I got a little robot fella. Boop.
Out pops
This is
Bim.
Nim. He's fine.
Nim, not Nim.
Maybe we should introduce you also to the rest of the people.
Who the heck is Bim? Where have I got Bim from?
Bim is the small robot that kind of folds up in the same way from the film Treasure Planet.
Never seen it, so no, probably isn't from there.
I'm disappointed.
Okay.
Uncultured swine!
What happened with Keswick and the boys? Were they following
So
us?
far, you don't know.
Oh,
The last report you heard was Last report you heard was go ahead and we'll catch up with you.
Okay. So I'll warn the fella. There might be another streak in the sky ship landing. The people on it are a bit different to us, but they're sound. Don't raise your arms against them, and they shouldn't do the same.
Could you provide more information? I mean, what when you say different to what?
Well, one of them. They're Dragon Ball on Vaybaba. I don't remember.
Not that you've seen so far.
Okay. So one of them's like this big lizard fella in huge armor, and one of them's a small little fella with pointy ears. It's different, but they're nice people.
Yeah,
they know what. That was a goblin.
They know what goblins are. Yeah, they know what goblins are. They don't know what Dragon Ball are, and they wouldn't know what Ganassi are.
Oh yeah, that's true. And a couple of windy fellas.
Windy fellas. Okay.
Vapor and breeze, better Ganassi.
He sort of takes down a few notes. You might relay names, and he sort of takes down a few notes on that. Oh, okay. So if we see anything like this, not to be too alarmed, but we should probably check out their credentials first to make sure they are who you're expecting. Right. Okay.
Tell
Approach
us,
with
Captain,
caution.
how have things been on your side of things? How have things been here? What's progressed?
What? Sorry, I didn't catch that. Actually, sorry, Steve.
I was saying, Captain, tell us what's been going on at this side of things. What's progressed since we last spoke?
Oh well, quite a lot. Well, I mean, the usual comings and goings. We've had ships come, ships go. We've maybe commissioned one or two new ones. Not an awful lot. I mean, then of course, we heard some huge commotion up on the hill, and there's a great big hole in the hill now, and that golem was.
That was also us. But has there been any word from Elantelos in the last few days?
Oh no! There's been no word from Elantelos. No one's heard from Elantelos since it's fallen, really. I'm sad to relate. Lord Allgrit passed away. Terrible business.
My condolences.
Besides that, really. Oh, it's quite all right. These things happen.
He did drink quite a lot.
Oh, it wasn't the drink that got him. No.
Huh?
What was it?
What was?
Oh, it's a sad story.
Regale us with this tale.
Was it the Kraken?
No, it wasn't the Kraken. No,
Oh.
no.
There was that side quest that we didn't do.
Well, interestingly, that has been a bit more of a pest. There has been a bit more of a pest, actually. Now you mention it, I won't go into the details of that just now. No, Lord Allgrit, God rest his soul. No, he was out for a walk in the fields and the grounds outside of the town here, just not far from where we are now. And one of the local farmers, his bull, got loose from one of the pens, and unfortunately, while out walking with his aides, it took a fancy and it charged. You see,
A bull.
A bull, yes, it charged.
Shit.
And he couldn't get out of the way quick enough, being the great lump that he was, and unfortunately, it got him, and it flung him up in the air, and I mean, what a feat of strength to fling someone of his size up in the air, but it flung him up in the air nevertheless, and when he come down, it pierced his lung. You see, with one of his great horns.
Gory.
Well, yes, it was. Yes, it wasn't what killed him, unfortunately. The shock of all of this. Yes. The shock of all of this caused him to have a heart attack. You see, but that wasn't what killed him either. As you may remember, if you ever met him, he had terrible bowel problems, and all of the shock of the heart attack and the puncturing of the lung and flying through the air. He violently shat himself, which caused it caused a bit of a prolapse. You see, and while these people were trying to do their best to help him, they sent for a healer, but the healer didn't get there in time. He passed away before then. He died with them using a stick, you see, to try and push it all back in. So he did die, unfortunately, in a pool of his own shit with a stick up his ass.
So he literally died of bullshit.
He died of bullshit, yes. Yes.
I see.
Some people have said that tale is probably bullshit, but unfortunately it is the truth.
I would love to know how you planned out this part of the episode. There's no way you wrote that down on his notepad.
I just ad-libbed that whole little section of how he died.
I'm really hoping it's hugely relevant. Can we see any balls?
Well, you know there's farmland here, and you've travelled through it before. It's farmland. It's like open moors,
within a
farmland.
field.
Perhaps we should head into town.
Whatever you do, don't accept any sticks of anyone.
Let's go get a meal, and we'll drink to his memory.
Yes, I feel rather a lot like eating chicken.
I think a steak made from that bull would be just.
No,
I'm afraid. Yes, sorry. Yes, this happened.
They already
a while
ate
ago.
him.
Yes, the bull has unfortunately been consumed.
So what is the date exactly?
What is going on?
What is the date exactly? No, I've never come up with dates for this, but I'm going to say it's
Good
the
question.
It's the first day of the high sun. Like
Okay.
summer.
So
Like summer.
so Lily asked that. So how long are we away?
How long will we
From what?
space total? Kind of.
Yes. So because he's trying to understand if we had a different time lapse there, times.
How long's it been since the big hole in the hill happened?
So he'll probably tell you from the time that they heard the huge explosion, went to investigate, and found the huge hole in the floor. It's been about a week and a week and a half so far.
All right,
not a huge time dial.
You mean if we didn't do it all in one night and we've missed Christmas? What's going on?
No.
All right.
In 30 years!
You boy, fetch me a turkey.
Since you were realistically actually having any interactions on Buckwin, it's been quite a while. Hence why you don't know about, Lord Orgrit's passing and all that sort of stuff. But
All right.
But yeah.
Well,
did you... Sorry, Karen.
We probably should head into town with this an awful lot that we need to
catch up.
fill in the authorities on.
There's an awful lot I need to fill my belly with too.
We may also have to borrow quite a lot of boats in the very near future. So a visit to the naval office could be a good thing.
Yeah,
Don't forget the transport people.
Yeah, we need to rest too.
Karen, you carry on talking amongst yourselves. I'm just refreshing my mind on notes of Buckwin. It's been a long time since you've been here.
I will. I'm
only been a week
really.
and a half.
Yeah, but I'm really looking forward for a really nice meal and some ale.
I'll take an ale.
Yeah.
So if you're going to go into town, so from you sort of follow that main road down, you enter, that it's a fortified town. There is a wall, but you get the gatehouse and you go through. And the first place you come to, just outside of the actual main town, as you remember, as the town sort of goes from a more rural thing into a town, was the landlubber's stop.
Ah,
The man that didn't know what water was.
good old Finley Gardner.
Finley Gardner. Yes, Finley
Can't
Gardner.
believe
Well,
I still
well
have
remembered.
notes for that. Yes,
I can't
remembered.
believe I do remember that I have notes for it. Well, so obviously I've got notes for it. I tell you what, going back to here, I've had to go digging through lots of old books to find lots of old notes. It's been a long time just poring over old notes. But yeah, Finley Gardner. Or your other option was the Waterfront Inn down on, well, the waterfront, as you might have guessed.
Mm.
With the slightly more curvaceous lady who owned that one. Margaret Penny.
Mm-hmm.
those are your two options if you're after a brew.
What are you eating?
Sorry.
Crunchiest Pringles known to man.
Apart from the ones that you eat in the
I
other
don't know
game.
what you're talking about.
I usually like. Yeah.
So, I say we go to the landlubber's place, and we also need to ask about Harriet.
Cool.
Oh,
So
yeah?
if you go to the landlubber's stop, you go in. It's a bit of a working man sort of pub. Short haired, quite well built, bit overweight. Wears a white dirty shirt, tatty waistcoat, baggy cord trousers. Finley Gardner. And he's there working on the pub, spitting in the glasses as he did before and wiping them out. He goes, all right, I recognise a couple of you. All right then, how's it been?
Finley! Couple of ales and some meals for us all, please.
Couple of
You-
ales and a few meals, yeah?
You have no idea how much we missed you. And your
Oh, that's
food.
kind.
And your ale.
Oh, kind of you to say. Kind of you to say. Well, just for that, I'll give you a round of beer on the ass. Half of that.
Oh, thank you. You're so kind.
Always a gentleman.
And he just pours off a few mugs of frothy beer and sticks them on the bar. Look, meat. I've got some meat on the go at the minute. And he points over to the fireplace. If you remember, the fireplace was like a big open hearth, and it was there was meat hanging over the top of it. Help yourself. Look, at some top side of beef hanging over there. You could have a bit of that, and I'll get some. How about some roasted spuds? Do you want some roasted spuds?
Roasted spuds or
Yes.
mash, anything of that nature.
Yes, please.
All right, I'll get
Really
some of
love
that
me a
brought out to you.
potato.
You grab yourself a table. Help yourself. Get a knife over there so we can carve off a bit of beef, and I'll bring out some spuds.
I'm just
What?
cutting the.
Spuds. Peel them, mash them, stick them in a stew.
I'm cutting, I am,
Taters? What taters?
I'm cutting the meat with my scimitar.
Yeah,
Nice.
and it's so homely. It's so warm. The fire's going. I mean, it's a warm day outside. It's like sunny, bright, warm day outside. But it's like, well, I mean, it's the English thing to do. It's like I'm still having a carvery. It might be the summer, but I'm having a carvery. And it's that sort of thing. And you're just there taking meat off, and you're just stuffing it in your face. And out he comes with a big bowl of spuds, and there's even like some carrots in there and parsnips, that sort of stuff. Because this pub is frequented by all the local farmers, so they like bring all this fresh produce in, and they're just it's all getting cooked up and served out. And he's just sort of like waves off, kind words. I'll give you a beer. Maybe just give me, I don't know, 10 silver for the food. How about that? Excellent.
Not a
So
problem
someone
at
mark
all,
off.
and he'll put the 10 silver down.
Thanks.
I'll mark it off mine.
Yeah, mark it off yours. Cool. And he'll leave you to your business if you want to fill your boots. Obviously, I would say you in the space travel you would have had a long rest, but I think by the time you've done all of this,
Oh, long
you
rest.
can definitely mark a long rest because you've travelled through space to get here, and now you're chilling out. I'm guessing. I mean, you arrive here, and it seems to be somewhere late morning, middle of the day. So I think the total time you haven't really done a lot. You could probably call it a long rest. Not an official proper long rest where you've slept and all that sort of stuff, but it's okay. We won't go into it too much.
Yes. So, what's on the agenda then? What do we got to do?
Would you like me, as the DM, to remind you all just what was
Give us a little
available?
recap of our list, because we've got Kraken, we've got Harriet, we've got procuring a load of bolts, and that's as far as my memory's
Well,
going.
No,
As always, gather as many bodies for the army as we can.
an outstanding quest on Buckwin was dealing with the Kraken. They were bothering. It was bothering the Tortles, but from what you just sort of gathered from what Captain McCready said, the Tortle, the Kraken seems to have sort of become more of a problem for the Navy as well, potentially. Doesn't mean you have to deal with it, but in terms of the things you really need to get done, you still need to find transport to get armies from point A to point B. And you still... Well, there was a scouting mission, but Harriet said she could potentially sort the scouting mission to find out like how you're going to formulate your battle plans. going forward. And then the only other thing was to investigate that strange cave, which you've done, and you went off into space and you come back in. So I mean, that one's already done. If you want to try and recruit more people to the cause, then you absolutely can. But the main focus right now is you kind of need to get that transport sorted, or
I
you
mean,
can go and report back to Harriet and see what she's got done. I mean,
well, I mean, it doesn't seem hugely crucial right now that we deal with the Kraken, but if
It
it's
doesn't.
hassling the port and we need boats and we
Yeah,
need
if we need to use that as our sort of transport link, it does
Yeah.
seem.
maybe we should go speak to Captain Porter or Fleet Commander Jizaya about
That was
maybe striking up some sort of deal.
well, that was Lord Allgrit. Allgrit
What, the Fleet
Desire.
Commander?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe just Captain
Lord-
Porter then. Navy. That's my notes.
Yeah, there were several captains. I mean, one of them was Captain McCready. He was an equal rank to Porter.
Oh, but I'm just going to be thinking Edie McCready all the time.
I'm just going to turn on the light for where I'm sat on it 'cause it's getting a bit dark. Give me 2 secs. In fact, do I need to even take my headphones off? No, I think I could reach. I could reach. Look at that.
His entire monitor
Amazing.
just.
Yeah. No, I'm here. I'm fine. I didn't have to disconnect. So you can't make silly comments this time.
I can always make silly comments. I think you'll find.
Well, that's your usual thing when I'm not attached to my headphones. You like to make silly comments. Anyway, yeah. I mean, what do you want to do? I'd say a couple of hours have passed if you just sat there stuffing your face and drinking.
Yeah,
You're going to be going
we'd
into
just
the
be
afternoon.
kind of talking over like our
Yeah.
options of what you've just described and proper getting a belly full. So yeah.
I'm just enjoying not being in space and being on terra firma again. It's much nicer down here.
Yeah, absolutely.
Are we
Absolutely.
in agreement that although it's not the highest priority, we need to sort the Kraken sooner rather than later?
Well, yeah. If we need to
Because we
use,
could possibly use that as a bargaining chip to help
yeah,
with getting bolts and usage and stuff.
that will be a good idea.
Whose jurisdiction is the Navy under? Because, we are kind of the de facto rulers of that human city, and the Dwarven King is part of our entourage. We have quite a good allegiance together to command some folks if we wish to do.
So the Navy's known as the King's Navy, which is effectively the same as the King's Army, which they're all it's like a
What are you doing?
You okay?
Are you okay, Corpse?
I'm perfectly okay, yeah. I'm just listening to you. Keep stopping for something. I don't know why.
Because you sounded like you just like
Fell
flushed
down
yourself
the
down the
stairs.
toilet.
Fell down.
I think there's a break in my wire, and it is just creating a little bit of something or other.
Okay. So it's basically like a ceremonial type name, the King's Army. It refers to the king, the High King, as they've always called him, Malnoris.
Hi, King did.
So they've always referred to it as the King's Army or the King's Navy, but realistically it's all centrally controlled by the government at Castle View. That's the ultimate thing. But it's just a ceremonial name. The Navy, the main hub is the naval port. This is where they make their plans and do their various operations. But they do receive orders from Castle View from time to time. You must go and do X, Y, or Z. But their main goal is basically to stop pirates and make sure that merchant vessels are safe, that sort of stuff.
Good. I mean, they might have had some communication from Castle View about the recent developments there. We never know.
Maybe.
But if you wish to go and sort out the Kraken, then let's go and sort out the Kraken, because you've got to crack on with the Kraken.
I refuse to acknowledge.
Cool.
What time of
So-
day is it now?
It'd be late afternoon, but I mean, you could wander down to town and sort
Yeah,
of
it's still time.
I think going to the town and maybe talking at the port with the view to possibly starting something tomorrow.
Because if
Well, I
we
mean-
need to
Or does
go
it sleep
to
at night?
maybe it's better to be able to see what we're doing.
Maybe. I don't know if do Krakens sleep?
But at the same time, is it going to be out in the sea? Do we need
Yeah, how are we gonna?
a vessel to take us there? So we need to find somebody to take us
I'll
there.
dive in and fight it hand to hand.
Maybe the ship, if it can survive the vacuum of space, is presumably watertight.
That's a good thought. Ooh, and it's got decent guns and weapons and shit on it.
Mm.
Think about. I don't want to tell you what to do, but think about why you decided to land here.
Well, I know they have an airship here. Just
Is it here? Is this where it is?
But that's why we came to this bit, so we could pick up the airship.
It's not
Well,
so
that's-
much that. If a Kraken goes under the water, an airship's not going to be a whole lot of. But if the spaceship can go under the water, submarine style, with its guns and shit.
But just because it's waterproof doesn't mean it can go under the water.
Yeah, and also, do you know how to navigate it under the water?
We don't know how to
And
navigate it on
also-
top of the water.
Exactly.
Its engines are designed for space, after all, not for pootling around in an ocean.
Josiah would probably also interrupt you and just be like, "I just want to tell you that as we came through the atmosphere, I lost an awful lot of maneuverability and capabilities of that ship. It's not
Could
really
she-
suited. It's not really suited for flying around inside an atmosphere."
Could she not take the strain?
I don't think she could take the strain, Captain. To be honest,
She doesn't have the power. I'm sorry. What are we like
Okay.
for procuring or creating bombs?
Well, we could stuff you with chilies and see how long you last, I guess.
We could just drop Lord What's-His-Face, who's died. He'd create quite an explosion when he landed.
there is a blacksmith in the town that you could potentially call upon to try and craft you something.
But they wanting bombs.
Because dropping them from an airship onto a Kraken might be a little bit, make some calamari.
But don't forget, your airship is really armed to the teeth. I mean, you've got some pretty decent weaponry on there.
Oh, it is, yes. I can't look at it because it will.
I will
turn all our
refer you
cameras
back
off.
to the. Well, I will refer you back to the files in the Discord
I
folders.
can't look at it. Somebody else needs to. If I look at it, it'll turn all your cameras off.
Oh, okay.
Where is the fire?
You're looking in our private one and then the Defiant.
Yeah, we also have access to spells and things. We can always throw you over the side with your choppy sword.
Exactly. But I mean, if you're going down into the town, the first sort of thing you notice is there are a couple sort of in the main square, just where around the market is. There's a few of these human, maybe slightly taller sized turtles. Not unlike Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, that sort of style. You know, humanoid turtles. But they're not wearing masks, and they're not wearing swords or nunchucks or nothing like that. So don't get any ideas from that idea. But they are, they're these humanoid turtles. They're quite tall, and some of them have like robes on. Some of them just have a simple loincloth. There's only about 6 of them.
Are they?
And
Are they just like chilling? They're not like guards or something.
No, they're just hanging around. But if you remember from the original thing, there's a place called Tortles Point on Buckwing, and that's where they have like
wives are
a.
allowed to see.
Hey?
Huh?
It's just a term.
I don't think anyone heard that.
For which some people can be entirely grateful.
Yeah. But you know there was a place called Tortles Point, which is like a semi-aquatic nursery, and basically the Kraken was really attacking that area and was stopping them from being able to really maneuver or anything like that. And they seem to these guys for the first time that you've seen are in the town now. They never seem to have been there before, and people are looking at them like with wonder, like, "Ooh, this is something new." But they're kind of like hanging around the market, and they maybe seem to be picking up like from the fish stall, the fish vendor, like small fish, that sort of thing, and like placing them in little packets and in their bags and that sort of thing.
Do you think perhaps we could talk to a vendor, someone who might be able to give us an item or a potion that could help us stay underwater for longer? Maybe.
That's a good idea.
I seem to remember there was a magician fella here somewhere, Mr. Fizzgirdle.
Oh yes, we must go and visit Mr. Fizzgirdle.
We love that fella. I'll just stay here while you go see him, shall I?
Is he the one with the
He's
the
the
magic
one who
tech?
causes snakes' pubes.
I remember that. By the way, I sent the file in the chat if you want to see the.
I shall look now.
Oh.
So yeah. So what do you wish? You wish to be able to breathe underwater?
Well, if we need to. If it's chilling on top of an island, it's not going to be that necessary, but...
Yeah, if we are going to do underwater fighting, we need to be prepared.
But I can't get my cloak fed. It's satin.
I'll go up to one of the Tortles and say, good afternoon there, mate. How are you doing?
He
Good day.
really like slowly, like deliberately, like turns round, and like eventually turns to face. Goes, "Hey man, what's happening?"
Oh my god, you sound so much like Vapor or Breeze of it had from these spaced off their eyebrows.
Not too much. We heard that there might be some trouble with the Kraken up by your neck of the woods.
Yeah. We don't really live in the woods, dude. We're like, we hang out by the sea.
Okay. Well, it was nice to meet you. Let's go talk to the captain.
Yes, let's maybe go talk to the Navy, huh?
Yeah. Get the lay of the
Like,
land.
before you, like, as you start like turning around to leave, you're like, was there something that you want?
Nah. We're
It's
good,
all
dude.
Just chill. Just chill.
You do you. Hope you find the EAC, dude.
Take it easy.
I don't know what to say to this guy. It's just me.
He's just staring at us and we're like staring back. Let's go.
It's like what's that film Oscar like? Oh,
Finding Nemo.
no. It's like there's a film about like a rabbit and a fox that team up and they're like they
it's Zootropolis and the Sloth, isn't it?
Yeah, the sloth. Yeah. He's like, it takes so long to talk. So like you like walked away and he's still like looking at you, and eventually he's like, "Bye."
It's Flash 100-yard dash.
Yeah, that's the one. Great film. Anyway.
Definitely a film that should never be paused at the wrong point.
Yeah. Yes.
All right. Let's go. Let's go talk to the captain. See what's happening.
You want to go see Captain McCready again back at the sort of Admiralty office?
Yeah, or whoever the new
The head honcho is, yeah.
commander.
Well, you're gonna have to go. Yeah, so you got to go in there, and it's that similar thing. That's that walled off section with you can see the clock tower, probably the clock tower protruding over it, and then the great big grand building, and they recognise you and they let you through. Again, the name Devils Bane is becoming slightly more widespread. And they let you through instantly. There's no before there was like a bit of what are your business, all that sort of stuff. But now they just let you through, and you can walk in and you maybe see a receptionist there, and she'll sort of point you to the direction of McCready's office. And he's returned by this point, and you go there, and you knock the door and you let yourself in. And he's just sat there sort of going over papers, general admin, clerical type stuff. He looks up and sees you and, oh, hello. Nice to see you again. How can I help? I don't presume you need to hire a ship. Your ship is just in the bay.
We've come with a request, if I'm honest.
Okay.
Well, I'm sure you're aware of what's happening in Atlantalas and other parts of the continent.
Yes, I'm aware of developments globally.
Well, us and several other powerful members of the population are amassing an army, and we could use a means of transport.
Right.
If that's something you would be amicable.
Well, it's not something that I can particularly authorise myself. Giving you the king's ships, of course. That would require an order from central government at Castle View, and I know obviously that's been sent up in arms. There's there's a one lady, Glory Weaver, and what's his name? They've appointed a temporary lord. He's just sort of, as I am now, peering through papers. Lord Gimgan Moragak is a dwarf lord. He's taken over lordship temporarily of Castle View. You'd have to get authority that way, I suspect, if you were to take the kingships.
Did your report by any chance mention who installed this lord as temporary de facto ruler?
Yes, in fact, it was you.
Yes.
Not by name. You didn't name Wish Lord, but you did allow Miss Glory Weaver apparently to, in your absence, allow for the dwarves to, or King Razanog himself, to appoint a lord to oversee the dealings of the city in your absence, because you weren't entirely sure what. Well, you felt it was, apparently, according to the report, you felt it was your time was better spent gathering other resources.
Indeed, and so we have come here for other resources.
Well, that's fine, but unfortunately, I nor you have the authority to issue ships of the King's Navy for such a task. You would need written permission from the Lord or Lady, in this case, of Castle View.
So you're saying that we, as the chosen successors of your Lord Taylor, need written permission from the person we put in charge of things while we were away to get permission to take the ships that we have come here to take, going away from where we needed to be to get permission to take the ships.
He looks quite flusteredly and sort of is ruffling through papers. Make a persuasion roll with advantage.
Objection!
Bear with me a second while I find persuasion. There we go. And now for D&D Beyond to roll it very slowly indeed. So the first roll is a 19. And the second roll is a natural 20-30.
Ooh,
20-30, that's a new one.
30.
I have plus 10 to persuasion.
Oh!
Well, he saw it as he's ruffling through papers. Well, it's all very irregular, but I suppose. I mean, yes. I mean, what you're saying is quite correct. I mean, you were issued the task of obtaining transport. I mean, if you don't have written consent from a lord or lady of Castle View, I mean, it's a bit irregular. But I suppose, well, I can't really stop you. I mean. Right. Well, I mean, the first thing is we are still able to send ships abroad. There is a problem with this Kraken beast that's slowing things down. But he starts going through books. He's going through books and books and books. He's finding almost like rosters of what ships are available. As well, there's 3 potential ships here for troop transport. They're less armed, and they have greater holds. They could potentially carry more men. If that would suit.
Do you have any suitable vessels for escort?
Oh, well, now, yes, we do have several sloops and that which are well armed, which could. Assist this little armada of yours. But 3 ships are not going to be enough to transport an entire army. The king's army is much greater, and if the dwarves are involved as well, then of course there's going to be even more men to transport.
Indeed, and we would rely on your immense naval knowledge to come up with an idea of where we can maybe source some more ship resources.
Building ships a possibility?
They take a little while, So.
Say again?
He wants to build some
ships a possibility if we put resources and stuff into it, really push for it?
He just kind of laughs at you. No. Building ships, you're going to be ages building ships. That's not something you can knock out overnight. No, your best bet is along the north coast of Groenland, the closest point to Atlantilos. I mean, there's all sorts of merchants and ships up there that may, for a bit of coin, be willing to transport you and your army. And there's lots of vessels all around, but I mean, the north coast is the closest, of course, to Groenland, and you should probably have a bit more success in establishing, paying some gold and getting access to ships. I can't tell you what the name of the town was right now because I've forgotten it and I haven't written it down anywhere. The name of that ship, the town where you went to after evacuating Atlantilos. I'm just going to have a very, very quick look to see if I can find my map with the name on it. If anyone beats me to it, please feel free to.
So if we have a modicum of ships in the way of getting some men, we will maybe take some Navy people with us on these ships. I think that will be a good start, yeah? But maybe, like you say, we need to take out this Kraken to ensure that all of our ships actually get away from this area safely.
If you can deal with the Kraken, Kalbadi was the name of the place. Kalbadi. Sorry. Like I said
it's okay, mate. I was just doing some dreadful time filling to give you a chance to look some notes up. A little bit of recapping.
This campaign is spanning 3 very full notebooks at the moment with bits stapled into it as well. So I mean, it's there's a lot of notes to go back over when it comes to going over old stuff.
You need one of them massive walls with loads of red string connecting things.
I think
scrolls in books and stuff.
That would be more confusing. Cool. If you could deal with the Kraken threat, I mean, I might be able to spare a few more ships. I mean, the the big hands tie here is that I don't want to risk sending too many boats out, and of course we never see them again.
If we were to deal with the Kraken risk and also escort the ships ourselves from the air, would you still escort the ships and some of the military style ships be able to carry more soldiers?
Well, the sort of more heavily armed ships that would provide the escort are not really well suited to transport of lots of personnel. I mean, they're designed for a crew that deal with each department, guns, sails, that sort of thing.
Yes,
So,
they are flush decked and gun rigged. They must be maintained.
yes,
So if we
they
were
they
to
only
deal
have
with
the
this,
ample crew for that. They're not really built for carrying additional people.
with bearing in mind that obviously after this has happened and the Kraken is gone, it's obviously going to increase your like usability and trade routes and such. How many ships could we expect from you if we deal with the Kraken?
Well, for now, I can absolutely promise you 3 ships.
You
As
promised 3 before
some
dealing with the Kraken.
Just wait a moment. Stop being so rude and interrupting me.
Logan,
Apologies, it's just my nature.
the negotiations are going well. We are progressing. Just breathe and relax. It's okay.
3 ships is what I can promise you right now, and 3 ships is what I can absolutely give you. However,
Oh, I hate when
I,
he says that.
once the Kraken is dealt with, may be able to provide more. At the moment, in port, I only have 3 potential transport type ships. More will be coming in. They're very sporadic at the moment because they know we have a bit of a problem here. So
Could
do
you
have-
perhaps-
How would you get the word out that the Kraken has been
Yeah.
dealt with?
How fast are they going to come back?
Once the Kraken's dealt with, of course, all the ports will have a telegram sent via the Aarakocra Messenger Guild.
I was about to say that.
Oh, I forgot about them.
And within a couple of days, most of the ports that we deal with will know about this, and of course, ships will return as normal. So you could expect within a week, I could probably double that. 6 ships could be made available.
That would be great.
Not as many as I had first hoped, but
If we were to add coins
Well,
to
it's
that
better
to
than
possibly
nothing.
pay for some of the ships to be used as well.
From here,
Well,
you'll
that
have
was sort of something I was potentially going to say was, would we be able to maybe hire some barges or fishing boats that could accompany them and feed the crew and the army?
Well, that would be quite expensive for you. The thing is, from here, we're quite a long way from Atlantis here. And your best bet, really, if you want to offer coin for such a service, would be to go to Kalbadi in the north coast. And there are, like, again, there's an awful lot of ships up there, a lot of captains, a lot of sailors, and they would be able to help you. You're much closer to Atlantis. The cost would be less.
So, would you be able to, if we obviously go through with all this, would you be able to let us have an input into the telegram to also put the word out to that town that we're looking to hire ships as well from there?
You could certainly have a piece in Telegram to say that yes, you're looking for transport.
That way we'd know how many we could potentially get up there to load onto ships.
Well, if we have 6 ships from here, and we can get more from that place, then we can see how many they can give us. Then we can see how many people we can carry. But
If you were to,
let's get these 6 first, so we know that we have a baseline,
you're
and
going to
then
have to, yeah, once you're dealt with the threat, it's going to be about a week before a load of more ships arrive, and it'll be about a week before the telegram gets out there. Then you're going to be looking at least a week on top of that, maybe 2, before more ships arrive, and we can redirect them to to the north coast of where Kalbardi is, on Groenland. Of course, then that's going to take an additional week, potentially 2 weeks, depending on the weather, the wind, to actually get the ships there. A lot could happen in that time. We're talking about 4 to 6 weeks, realistically.
Well,
before anything
if
really
we send
happens.
the word now for them to start coming over, by the time they will arrive, we would have dealt with the
We,
Kraken.
yeah, something along the lines of if we say it's being dealt with, and once it is gone, we will light a large fire on, or something like that they can visibly see it has been completed, so they won't be sort of going into nothingness. But as well as that, I also want to know, what do you know about the Kraken and its habits so far?
Well, I'm just going to see what order do I want to do this in. Okay, so habits of the Kraken. Well, it was, well, from what the Tortle folk had told us, it was attacking any of them that were approaching from the sea and eating them. It seemed to have got a bit of a taste for their flesh. Since they've moved inland and here, it's kind of abandoned their little nursery pools, their small village, and it seems to have moved on to bigger targets here, because of course the rest of the island there are no other ports. It's a bit barren, and so yes, it seems to have come this way and started attacking ships, but not very often. But even not very often, that's enough to dissuade people from coming. Um, its habits, yes, I don't know. You could sit out there banging drums on your boat for a week and it may never attack, but it could attack within the hour. I don't know. I don't know what it is that causes it to attack or anything. It just seems to. Maybe it's hungry. I don't know.
Do we have any farmers we could potentially pay to kind of make baits from a few large cattle that are like bleeding into the water, kind of thing?
Certainly worth a try.
Also, do you have any logging of when it has come and when it attacked, so we can see if there is any, anything
Records would
in
be
common.
perfect.
Yeah, if you have records, then we can
There
see if there is
are
something specific.
they do keep records, and a few ships have been sunk by it, but there's no pattern to it. It could be like one day between, then it's like a week between, then it could be half a week, then a month. There's no there's no pattern to it at all. It just seems to randomly hit.
Have you any of the victims of this kraken who have been brought back to port?
I'm afraid
Live
not.
ones.
Anybody who goes
No, not
into the
live
sea-
ones. Dead ones are fine.
No, I'm afraid not even that. No, I'm afraid anyone that seems to go into the sea doesn't make it out. They could be consumed by the kraken or other, aquatic wildlife. I'm
That's
afraid.
most inconsiderate of it, I think.
Does it have
I'm
a
afraid.
specific area that it comes
No
out?
survivors, eh?
No,
Where the rumours
no,
come
no.
from.
It could attack anywhere, at any moment.
I
That's
believe
why
we are going to need a bigger boat.
That's why people don't really bother with coming in and out. Some people risk it and get away with it, but others don't. So, bit of a strange one, I'm afraid.
Okay, so no dead bodies, no survivors, no old sailors to tell the tale of a near miss.
Maybe there is no
Um,
Kraken.
Mike, do you know if because I'm a druid, if I do like a nature's check, maybe I might know anything for the kraken, like it is its nature, or if it has habits, not for this particular one, but like as a species, if I can see it.
Hmm.
Is it something that you
Um,
might know?
I wouldn't have thought so because your origin was a Lantalos, and it's very wood elfy, very forest based. I know you're not specifically a wood elf, but
Hmm.
I don't. I mean, besides general readings from books about sea beasties, which in the libraries of Langloss there would have been books about this sort of thing. That's all the knowledge you would have. I don't think you'd know much more besides
Okay.
anyone that's perhaps been lucky enough to survive it and and wrote about it.
Keenan, you are an old head on young shoulders. You have a memory stretching back a long way. Have you heard any tales of the Kraken in the past?
Let me think.
I believe they make a fine rum in the north.
What role would you like, Mike?
Well, it'd be history, wouldn't it? Like your
History.
knowledge of the past.
History?
Ooh, 25.
It's hard to say because I mean, you wouldn't unless you specifically looked this thing up. You wouldn't really know, but I mean, with 25, I can't not give you something. What is it specifically you want to get at?
Just, well, I mean, the check on my behalf would have been just if I'd ever crossed paths with info about them. Anything that might help. Like,
You know, okay, well, you would know that you sort of, again, to Lily's kind of same sort of knowledge, you may have read about them or, yeah, I think you'd probably have read about them.
yeah.
But perhaps being an old part of Malnoris's armies in the creation of the world, maybe you heard more about the really old beasts that were first placed here, and you know that if you don't hit them with some sort of magical attack, you're probably not going to hurt them.
Okay. That's useful.
That's useful, and it's probably
Not to
also it's probably also that you know that these things are tough, and any fight against one is going to go on and on and on.
Okay.
So you need, I think I don't want to deny you information because it's a good roll, but
No, that's fine. That's fine. That's useful to know.
yeah, it's kind of hard to place it.
That's fine. If I haven't come across them, I haven't come across them. That's just my history. Okay. So, what's the best way to tackle this thing? Do we want to get down in its domain or try and beach it somehow?
If we have a ship and we can go in, I can have a look under the water. I can swim around. Also, if we have our airship here, maybe we can scan the sea from the air and see if we can find any disturbances, or we can see its shape because it must be a big one, isn't it? So we might be able to see it under the water.
May I interrupt you? There's the Tortles of the Tortles have arrived in town. It might be worth asking them if they have information
do that,
about
Logan.
how to deal with.
I would slaughter the village. It'll be an Anakin moment, I'm telling you.
Captain.
Fizzgirdle! He has loads of magic shit that's explosive. He could turn the tentacles into little snake pubes. I don't know. They're not
It
quite
wasn't
dangerous.
Fizzgirdle that done that.
Specialty.
I'm sure that was Fizzgirdle, a little merchant wizard.
It was
dude.
No, it's a demon.
You drew the bloody card with in the deck of many things.
Yep.
Yeah, he had the deck though, didn't he?
Yes, but not the
You
demon.
bought the deck.
Are you
We
going to
could
try and
get the
convince a
Kraken
Kraken to draw from the deck
deck
of many
things.
things? I don't think that's going to work.
When it goes to slap us with its like suction cup tentacles, I'll just like go with the deck. It'll grab one. I'll be like, ah.
And then be like, you become king.
Yeah.
If we get a Kraken singing, I just can't wait to be king. That's it. I'm giving up.
Okay. I like Lily's idea of sort of a two-pronged approach. Maybe a sloop on the water and the airship in the above. If you can scout
Our
underneath the
airship
water.
has
I
very
can
little
scout.
in the way of magic. it has magic missile, but the rest are all physical, like ballistas and cannonballs and such.
Well, that's fine. If we can tether this thing, keep it either near the surface or drag it to land, that's only going to be useful for
Or
us.
it could drag us under.
Well, there's that.
Well,
Just
if
be
you're
ready.
on the ship, I plan to be on the airship.
I will stand by with my lack of magic to chop the rope from the ballista just in case.
If we get
Happy
directly
to
above its
be under the
face,
water.
just jump in.
I still have no magic. I'm just jumping in there just to be eaten.
I mean, kill it from the inside.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm down for this.
So would you like to be on a instead of the airship on a ship close to me so I can swim underwater and scan the area and then come out again? Let you know.
It doesn't sound like a bad choice to divide our forces. I mean, split the
Just
party,
in,
but we're still sort of
just,
same place.
Yeah.
just in case, yeah, just in case it is attacking me, so I won't be by myself in there.
It's not ideal, but obviously you know about the rings that the others have, so we could still communicate with them whilst they're up on the airship. Just you wouldn't hear it. I'd have to relay it to you.
Yeah, and also I won't be able to wear a ring or anything. So
I think that's a good idea. Has anyone got anything better?
how high? What is the
Depends
lowest
how much I
point?
smoke, man.
No. Yes, other than that, what is the lowest point? The lowest height the airship can fly above the sea.
Well,
It can fly whatever height you want it to fly.
it can land in the sea, but I'm not going to do that. You know, I can hit it with magic missile from quite a long distance away. Not magic missile, Eldritch Blast. I don't have magic missile.
But we don't need to split the party. If you fly low enough, so in case something happens, I can reach and climb up. Then we don't need to split the party.
We won't be split per se.
Am I right in thinking a sloop is 2-3 people?
No,
No.
you're thinking of Sea of Thieves.
Oh yeah,
Loop is
that's
like a
all I've got to
small-
go on.
Yeah, no, that's more of a skiff.
A sloop is it's a two-mast ship, but it has like a crew of
Up to 120, something like that, right?
well up to 120. Yeah, depends on what its needs. But
How?
I mean, a man of war, a sloop of war would be 120 crew.
I'll do what I can there. Also, I've just noticed the hand blaster behind you. Awesome, love it.
Yeah, well,
Is that the one you from your wedding?
yeah.
Awesome. Anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it wouldn't be a bad thing to go on one of the sloops for me personally, because I can't do much else up top.
Can I confirm that Krakens weigh around 4,000 pounds?
You
It
plan on
could-
feeding everyone?
It could. But
That's
the
a
problem is
lot of calamari.
you don't know what size of kraken you're dealing with.
That's true. Okay. Alright. I might have a plan. But we'll see in the heat of the moment.
And with that, I think let's take a quick 5-minute break, and then we're going to come back and figure out what everyone's plan really is. And then we'll implement it.
Fire Kraken!
Let's do it!
I had it in the playback.
We have serious issues with Dan, and be quiet for 10 seconds, Dan. But anyway, we're back. Thank you, Fallen Man, for the follow. The Big Drunk Birdman. Love that. We're back for part 2, episode 31 of Vaybaba. And we're kind of trying to formulate a plan to face for what we believe, for all intents and purposes, to be some form of kraken. We don't know its size, its age, or what caused it to attack. But that's where we're at.
Who's the new follower?
Fallen Bam.
Fallen Bam.
Fallen Bam. Hello, Fallen Bam. Welcome to the stream.
He says, I'm sure you know me as the
Sounds
big
right.
drunk bird man, but I don't know a drunk bird man.
It's from another game. It's Aarakocra that got very drunk and then was unable to fly.
Ah, that makes sense. We were just discussing a minute ago the Aarakocra speed nerf that's been done, flying speed nerf recently by Wizards. So
Have they done that?
yeah, they have. They've reduced their flying speed, I believe now. But
Oh.
hello, welcome, and we're going to throw it back to Mike and see where we're at.
Well, I don't know where we're at because you bloody muted me. I don't know what your plans are.
Well, we
But
were
that's
just
the point.
talking between the party about how we would approach what we believe to be a kraken.
So, how do we kill the DM?
So what? I don't know. I mean, what's your plan?
So did we decide to go split?
We,
Yes.
me,
Yeah, follow Baina's
myself
plan.
and Asepotenesis are going on a war sloop, and Captain Danface and Corbs are taking the airship above.
Actually, I think you'll find technically it's called a sloop of war.
And even
Oh no,
Just
Technically,
we're back on ships and
just
naval
everybody
themes.
watching again.
Like, my time to shine!
ooh, quite so.
God damn you!
So you want to take a boat. You're going to try and use that to lure the beastie out, while the airship stays aloft, overwatching the scene.
And
Yes.
I will be going underwater.
And you're going underwater. Well, Captain McCready and will sort of defer a few of the other captains of the Admiralty, and they'll quite happily say, okay, well, if you think this is going to rid us of this problem, we will lend you a ship with no crew on it, just a ship. Then we'll sort of anchor it out there off in the bay, and then you can hatch your master plan. Did you want to sort of confer with the Tortles about any ideas they may have on to attract this thing, or are you just going to sit
Yeah,
there
we
and
can
wait?
I
ask
say
them.
we talk to the Tortles, as they are sort of sea-ish folk as well, and also potentially hire a bit of a crew to go on this
Yeah.
sloop of war with us.
And if there's anywhere we can find a big jar of ranch dressing for which Gilded Branch can soak in for a little while to help with the baiting.
I'm
So-
down for that. I prefer
So you want to
Thousand Isle
speak-
though.
So you want to speak with the Tortles? Do you want to RP the Tortles, or do you just want to say, like, we would like you to tell us what to do?
For the sake of what time it already is, we want to know their knowledge of how it attacks and basically what they already know about it, and if they are willing for a price to basically help us crew our sloop of war.
Well, they will tell you, hey, man. No. I'm not going to for that. No, so basically what they'll tell you is you need to
He's a
be able to
impression of a
make some
turtle.
noise. Noise seems to attract this thing. So ships that seem to have been attacked have been sort of moored
Starving, I feel sick.
and were maybe in the throes of
That sounds
shore leave. So they've been, maybe the crew on board have been playing instruments and jigging about, and that sort of thing might have, the vibrations.
Why, when you're
may have
jigging
attracted
about,
it.
did you do this action? Jigging.
I didn't do that. So I went like that.
Exactly that!
Jigging about.
He's
I think this is,
he's weighing his anchor. What more do you?
yeah. This is your
He's
filthy mind
erecting
in
his
action
mast.
again. It's your filthy mind in action again. Anyway, they'll
I
tell you,
don't
like,
have a
perhaps,
musical instrument.
perhaps
Shocking.
merriment. Well, you are a monk. I mean, come on. Perhaps merriment seems to draw them in. For the Tortles themselves, it seems to be. I mean, in their village, they have music and tribal sort of things going on. So perhaps it's vibrations from music, that sort of thing that attracts it.
Mm.
But no, they are
Okay.
not willing to give you any. There's only 6 of them in the town. They're not willing to sacrifice themselves. Enough of their own kind have already died.
Looks like we need a crew from somewhere. Just me and Lily ourselves can't do this entire vote.
No.
They are just planning on
You-
anchoring the sloop in the middle of the
Yeah,
bay.
you're not. They're just going to anchor it there, and then the people that put it there will just jump on the longboat and leave.
Yeah, we might as well just take a barge, because if there's no one manning the weapons, we might as well just have a simple thing and save the sloop for
But from
Malnoris.
the knowledge you already have, you know that the weapons are being effective anyway. They're not magical. They are
That's
just
true.
bog standard cannons.
Aye.
No harpoons.
When
No.
you say it's only susceptible to sort of magic damage, what about explosive damage? If we were to get something rigged up with like gunpowder from all the flintlocks and things they've got stores of.
It might work, but for all you know, is that externally it's susceptible to magic damage. That's it.
Looks
Magic
like I'm
of
going
fire.
internal, boys.
This is like a CR-21 creature. It's not going to be easy to say,
No.
I'm going to blow it up or shoot a cannon at it. And in fact, it's not even a CR-21 because I've taken it and I will let you know this.
Tweaked it.
I've homebrewed it, so it could well be more than CR-21.
Okay. So if we can't get a crew, should we just take a barge?
Yeah.
Is there... I know we have like minstrels and performers and things like that that are playing in bars and pubs. Is there any kind of recording device on... Ooh! What if I cast my... That's the wrong character, ignore me. Is there a way to basically play music or something to make it seem, you know, like it would be if sailors were on deck, something like that?
You could probably buy music boxes. They're probably music boxes.
If we can source one of those without going into massive RP just for the sake of I'll pay for
You
one.
you could probably pay people to come with you, like with the promise, like you might die, but
if you
don't die,
I'll pay them.
We'll give you a handsome reward to sit on this ship and play music, maybe man the cannon. Because the cannon, it's not that it's
to pay them handsomely if they survive, and if they die, I'll still pay, but to their family that they choose.
Yeah, but it's not that the thing is immune to non-magical damage. It's just it's so hardened to it that non-magical damage will do nothing effectively. But I mean, like you could fire cannons at it, and it might do a small percentage of damage. But if you're going to really hurt it, you have to hit it with magic. So you could hire people. The Tortles are not willing. They're basically endangered. They are not willing to go on board that boat and risk it. But like, you know, you could find a few drunkards in the town that might be like, oh yeah, I'll fire a few fucking cannons for you, mate. Yeah, why not? Pay us like 200 gold, I'll do it. You know, that sort of thing.
Oh, I've got a bunch of bots. Sorry.
They're gone.
I just noticed that. Yeah.
They're gone. It's fine. Don't talk about Bruno bots. Okay, so I'm gonna hire some kind of performing people, maybe a band, 4 or 5 people, to make a lot of noise, and I'll give them some alcohol as well, so they can have a drink out there.
Cool. So if you want to take these people, so basically,
if they survive, they'll get the same money. If they die, it'll go to someone they choose. How much do you reckon?
Well, let's deal with this in turn. So you that evening inform the Admiralty of your plan. You go to a tavern. You get your rest in. You have a nice drink, some food, probably the Waterfront Inn because that's the one there. You find a local band that sort of come up on the stage. These guys are pretty good. Maybe they got like a drum and a hurdy-gurdy and some sort of like ukulele stuff going on, and
Love a hurdy-gurdy.
they're like a proper like folky band, a big double bass. And you kind of say to them, look, would you guys be willing to come out on a boat tomorrow and play some music? It could be dangerous. And they're like, yeah, okay.
Boat
They
party
want
at noon.
300 gold. 300 gold will secure them. So you have to mark off your sheet if you're willing to pay for them.
For the
There's
lot.
another one. There's another band that go, oh, well, we'll do it for 100 gold, but they're just like strings. So
That's fine.
strings
They
might
can
not do it.
stomp.
And then for 500 gold, you can get like this full, well, not orchestra, but like this great big band, and they got lots of drums and big sounds, like brass instruments and all sorts. So there's 3 different bands you can pick from. The Navy, in the meantime, are positioning a sloop alongside the Defiant, your ship, and they're anchoring it, and then everyone's getting off of it, and they're rowing back to shore. So in the morning, whatever your plan is, whichever one you choose, will be put into action.
Okay. Do we definitely not have a means of making a racket
I think
ourselves?
the only thing we can do is the music box. What about we hire the cheap one and we still have to buy music boxes. Shall we just go for the mid-range?
I will say this: the
If only
ranges,
Frank was here.
yeah, the ranges reflect DC difficulty for how difficult it's going to be to attract this thing, and that will have its own outcomes.
I'm leaning toward the mid-range ones, but I want your guys' opinion because it's the party
Yeah,
that it'll come from.
Yeah, let's go for the middle range.
Okay, we'll pay them and we'll buy them a drink for tonight, and I'll mark that off.
Okay, so you arrive the next morning back on your. So who's going to be on the airship?
I'm going to be on the airship.
Hang on, Alexa, quiet. I don't know why she just suddenly.
Alexa, ignore Mike.
I don't know
So
why
you
it
said-
just suddenly. Why does this happen? Anyway.
You
So,
walk
who's
mine
gonna
up
be-
as well,
sorry,
then, Mike.
Sorry.
You walk
Got yours
mine up.
going
Then.
as well. Who's going to be on the airship? Sorry, just so I can make a note of this.
Me and Wolfer.
Airship is Keenan.
Keenan!
Cool. Okay. So you guys go aboard. You sort of instruct Captain Stain. So they're all like, "Oh, welcome back! Oh my God, we haven't seen you for so long." Blah, 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 blah. All that sort of stuff. And you're like, just fucking, we got to deal with this shit. Just fucking battle stations, go. And then, and you kind of tell them what's going on. You fill them in, and for Logan and for Lily on the sloop with your band, you see the Defiant go up. And it takes off. And these guys, yeah, they start playing some music, and you sort of direct them down into the hold, right down to the very belly of the ship, where it's underwater, below the water level, and whatever
Reverberate.
vibration, whatever sound they make, it reverberates to the water. And this is in the morning, and the day goes on and on and on and nothing. And by the end of the day, the Defiant drops back to sea and lands in the water. And you all sort of look at each other puzzled. Maybe between the ships, take a bit of food. Well, probably all board the Defiant, take on food.
But did I see, because I wanted to go in the water.
If you dived in the water, I presume you wild shaped to some sort of aquatic creature.
Yes.
You see nothing. There's nothing.
Like, I want to. So, as a giant shark, do I have any smell Like, do I smell anything?
You would
Can I
smell
find?
things. Yeah, you would notice things, but I think it's probably. I mean, they always say sharks smell blood and they detect fear or something like that. You absolutely detect the vibrations from the sloop. You know that this is going on, but nothing's happening. Next day, same thing. Nothing happens. Third day comes and goes.
Hmm.
And the fourth day comes and goes. There's no reports coming from the shore of anyone being attacked anywhere. But on the fifth day,
Nothing
you're all
happened.
settling in. On the fifth day, you're all sort of settling back. Oh, Christ, here we go again. You know, you guys are ready to go up, and Lily's about to jump overboard and transform and all that sort of stuff. As the Defiant goes up, Keenan and Wolfer, I'm going to need from both of you a dex save.
Jeez. That there's my special. Oh, 14.
Okay.
It's rolling. It is a 16.
Cool. So, as the Defiant raises up out the water, and for those of you on this sloop, you sort of see it go above you, and it probably goes about 50, 60 feet, and then up out of the water, this huge explosion of water is. This tentacle just flies up, grabs hold of the bottom of this boat, but on the port side, and it drags it down. But the magic that's pulling the ship upwards, it lists horribly to the port, like way beyond anything it should be able to. And because it's listed so far, and basically the engines are trying to take it up because it's been listed, it's now dragging across to port. You have crew members on the deck. Now, you guys successfully grabbed a hold of whatever rails or rope or whatever you get a hand on as it listed, and you're sort of dangling as you see crew members sliding across the deck. Some of them securing themselves on the opposing rail on the port side, some going overboard. For you guys on the sloop, you see this tentacle being dragged through the water as another one comes up, grabs the hull. This whole thing is just the power of the magic engines pushing this thing sideways now, basically. They're coming at the sloop. Do you try and jump off the sloop, or are you going to stay on the sloop at this point?
Alter self on myself. I grow gills and I go into the water.
So you jump.
Gills and yes, but I do that so I can cast spells underneath.
That's cool. But you jump. That's the main thing.
Yep.
What's Logan doing?
Firing an Eldritch Blast at this tentacle, if I can.
You can. Yep, absolutely. Go for it.
It fires one back.
Yeah.
Only a 14.
This Eldritch Blast goes off. It just kind of gets deflected off of the skin of this thing as these two tentacles slam into the side of this sloop, and the sloop is just ripped in two, and it just starts going down instantly. And that's where we're going to roll some initiative.
Yeah.
Holy shit!
I do have an encounter.
I'm going
second,
for a
D&D.
whole Jack Sparrow moment where I'm stood in the crow's nest as it goes down here.
Kill.
Let me see. Where is my encounters? There we are.
My initiative is 16.
Hang on. Let me get the encounter up first.
21.
There's a poll in chat if anyone wants to vote on how many of us are
I
about
just
to die.
voted. I voted total
Ooh.
party kill.
What's the poll?
How many
Who's
of us
going
are
to
going to
die
die?
first?
How do I vote?
Fair play.
Can't see it.
At the top of the chat it is.
Populate. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not including
That's
Brian's.
a thing.
I'm not including Brian's character because I don't want him to die. We're not being here.
No, he'd have been off sourcing, figuring
He
out
would have been off doing
logistics of the
something.
bolts and things that we've got.
Iron
Lily,
Brew.
Logan.
Yeah, as pilot,
Iron
he
Blue.
can do logistics of manning them 3 ships and stuff.
Cool. Okie dokie. Right, so let me roll his. Oh, okay. Okay, Lily, what was your initiative, sorry?
21.
21. Logan.
16, mate.
16. Keenan.
16. Funny boy.
That'll be a 10.
And Volta.
5.
5. Okie dokie, let's start this combat. Lily, you're top of the round. So you're in the water, and what you see, it's a haze. The water is a disturbed haze. So you know, like when you jump into the sea or in a swimming pool, it like goes all hazy. It's like that because there's so much action going on. But you see tentacles writhing upwards to sort of splash outwards. There's bubbles. There's all sorts everywhere, and you also got shrapnel and pieces of wood flying everywhere and sinking. You see bodies starting to float in the water. Maybe they're dead. Maybe they're alive. You don't know. But it is carnage.
How close is the tentacles? How close is the thing for me?
You are at least 60 feet from this thing.
Right? How do I know my swimming speed?
Whatever you've decided to polymorph into or change into,
I
or
haven't.
if you're, are you just using water breathing for this?
So no, I can alter self. So I did some gills and some.
So it would be whatever your normal swim speed would be. So whatever it's probably I don't know off the top of my head, but I'm gonna say it's about half of your regular movement speed. I'm not
Right.
gonna spend time looking it up right now, but I'd
That's
say
right.
half of your movement speed.
No, I just want to know so I know which spell I can cast.
It's half of normal.
Yeah, so it'd be like 15 feet.
Right.
And as a point, so we're going to go Lily, Logan, the Thing, Keenan, Wolfer. Logan, you're going to have about one round. Just to let you know, you're going to have one round on board this ship before you go into the sea, and then you're going to be swimming and
I
water
have a
breathing, that sort of
retcon.
stuff.
Because we're above
So-
level 10, your swim speed is the same as your walking speed, and if you're above level 10, it gets an extra 10 foot. You swim faster than you walk.
So for Lily, you can now move 30, 40 feet in the
Yeah,
water.
that's below 10. It's half.
Okay.
Yeah.
So then I swim really quickly, and I hit the thing with blight 8th level,
Okay.
which is it needs to do a Constitution saving throw.
A Constitution saving throw.
I'm really disturbed by Mike calling it the Thing and not Kraken.
I think the tentacles probably give it away by this point.
Let's
23.
just call it Phil.
Yeah, Phil. 23.
Get out of my put. Oh, you bastard.
Did you say 23?
23.
Sorry, I didn't hear.
23.
Yeah, okay, it passes, so it will take half damage, so it will be 12d8 necrotic damage.
Woo!
Okay.
That's
How
a lot
do-
of damage. What the hell am I gonna do?
Well, for those of you on the airship, you can start. So if you want to bring up the Defiance stat blocks from the PDF, you can start doing stuff from the Defiant. So you can start instructing gunners, shoot with the cannons, shoot with whatever, just whatever you think you can do from the Defiant. But sorry,
Right.
Lily,
Half 58, so half of it.
it's 58 halved,
Yeah,
which would be
29,
26. 26?
29,
58 halved. 29 could be. I'm not. You're asking the person
29,
that's worth at maths.
29.
29. Okay,
Yep.
29. It takes 29 points of damage. You get the impression of it. The numbers are so big on this. Your action is so inconsequential to it.
That's alright, but it is necrotic damage, though.
Yeah, it can't recover it. But yeah. Logan. If there's nothing else from Lily, it's Logan.
Yep.
Where am I with regards to? I was on this boat when it got ripped
So
into.
you're, I don't know, are you on the bow or the stern of it? Or were
Well,
you up the crew nest where you said?
I was at the part like facing onto it, so wherever that was, whether it was the bow stern side, I was facing off with it because I Eldritch blasted it.
Right, okay, so you're on the starboard rail, and these two tentacles are just ripped right through the middle of the hole. So this boat is just broken in half and has crumbled in the middle and is going down. You've got this round, and then you're in the sea.
How far is it from me right now? The tentacle that I can see?
Right in front of you. You've got two of them grappled with the airship, and that is just roaring over the top of your head.
I'm going to attempt to hurt it. Probably badly. Right, so...
You're not within melee range, so if you're going to make a melee attack, you're going to have to literally run and jump at it.
Let's do that.
And hit it that way.
I'm going to dive overboard to try and hit it with a 26.
26 does hit. So
Logan
when you
was
say dive
just
overboard, are you like running down the center of the ship, and then as it's falling inwards, are you then like jumping at the tentacle, or are you literally going to dive over the rail and then trying to hit what's underneath the water? Right, so you're running at the tentacle.
Yeah, and sort of out of the water, but obviously I'm going to fall into the water after.
Yeah. Well, maybe. It depends if your sword gets lodged in there.
The poll has just
so
ended with 60% of people thinking at least one of us is going to die. That's reassuring. Cheers, guys. So,
and most of the viewers are probably you guys.
19 normal damage with a vibroblade. I don't know if that'll even touch it.
19
Vibroblade, a magical weapon.
Just enough.
So with that, it also takes 2d6 burning damage from the runes.
Well, you tell me what the total is, and I'll
adjust accordingly.
So that's +4, and it needs to succeed on a strength saving throw.
That is 27.
You son of a bitch. It would have been hilarious to have a kraken shackled with fiery shackles around its tentacles. But no, it just takes the 2d6 fire.
Stop standing on my keyboard.
I say, you tell me what the total is, and I'll just sort it out.
I can't. I've lost the
Will to live.
the bit that shows the rolls. I can't find where it's gone.
I don't know, because I don't know what you're looking at.
I think it was 21 total. If anyone knows differently, correct me. But I think it's 21 total.
21 total.
21.
And what sort of damage was that?
All of it, 4 of it was fire. The rest of it was whatever the vibro sword is. And I assume I'm in the water
Fire.
as of now.
Is that magical fire?
Yes, it's from the runes.
Okay, so the slashing damage should be halved.
That's only for underwater combat. Unless that's something of the Krakens, I don't know.
I don't understand what you mean.
When you're fighting underwater, your attacks are halved unless you're using like a javelin or something.
Yeah, but you're not underwater at this point. You're still. You've literally leapt off the deck and
That's
slashed
what I
in
mean.
this thing.
Why is it halved? Is that just like an armor thing or something, or?
Well, it's because it's immune to non-magical slashing
right. Yeah.
damage. So your vibro sword's not going to do that much to it.
Nope, that's fine.
But your runic damage will be full damage because that is magical.
Okay, cool. I'm with you.
We go round. We go around to the Kraken itself.
Just
if there's nothing else.
Super quickly, am I in the water now?
I'm going to say that because this thing's quite tough, but you've managed to like damage it. I'm going to say you've plunge your sword into it, and you're like literally hanging off of it. So your next turn,
Cool.
you're gonna have to figure out what the hell you're gonna do. Let me just see. It's going to, due to that, a third tentacle whips up out of the water, and it knows you're stuck in it, and it comes at you to try and swipe you off. That is a 14 to hit.
This Kraken fails to toss me off.
Well, it goes for it again. This time a nat 20, I'm afraid. So that's a 32 to hit, and it's crit rules.
That definitely hits. Go for it.
Okay, so this second tentacle, so you see this one tentacle, whoom, it sort of whips past you, and another one comes out, bang, and cracks you in the side. That is going to be, I'm afraid,
A lot.
maybe less than what you think, actually.
I have a pretty big
what's
health
the-
pool at this point.
12,
Not for long, but for now.
18. Hold on, I need to use my calculator because it's the numbers are just too big.
We're into triple digits.
6 plus 6 plus 6 plus. So automatically it'll be 46. And then it's going to be 46 plus 5 plus 4 plus 1 plus that. 77 points of damage as this thing bang straight into you, and you go fucking flying. That vibro sword is no longer in your hand; it's still lodged in the tentacle. As you go flying through the air, but before you even touch the water, this tentacle races after you and wraps you up and grabs a hold of you. You're now grappled and restrained.
Well,
So
shit.
that's one of its tentacles now in a restraining type thing. Is it going to do anything else? Because it can. No, it's not. It's quite happy with that. It's got a ship and it's got a Logan. We move on to Keenan. You're on the deck of the airship, sort of looking down, perhaps in horror, at how this plan has gone so fucking horribly wrong.
Yeah. It's not going to do much, but I'm going to just yell to whoever's on the airship to start firing as well, and man one of the underside cannons.
You don't need to man it, because if you man it, you'll be at disadvantage. You don't have proficiency,
okay.
but they do have. But there is a gun crew that has the proficiency, so whatever the stats are, you can use as they are. If you want to say I'm going to use the Defiance underside cannon and fire, you can do that with whatever stats are on there. It won't be you doing it; it will be the crew member doing it. But whatever the damage is will be halved because it's not magical.
Yeah.
I'll leave it up to you because I don't have the Defiance. I've got enough stuff going on without looking at the Defiance stats as well.
Yeah, no, that's cool. This thing's holding on to the Defiant, isn't it, with the tentacle? 2 tentacles.
Yeah, you got 2 tentacles currently latched onto the port
Perfect.
side of this ship.
Perfect. I'm going to go over to one of them, and I'm going to cast Burning Hands on it and try and burn it off.
Cool. So what I'll do is, if you want to, those of you on the Defiant, so you can have your turn, and then as like a secondary bonus action, or as like a free action, you can attack as the Defiant as well, and that'll be you and Wolfer. So you could do whatever you need to do, and then as your free action, the Defiant goes
Back
as well.
in order to do an attack with the Defiant.
Okay.
Yeah, basically. But it'll be up to you guys. So I haven't got that open, so you can just tell me, oh, it's going to do this much damage, or whatever.
Yeah. Okay. So, Burning Hands. Does it... What do I need to do? I don't think I... Dex save, please. Although, if it's not moving.
He's not a dexterous boy, and that was a bad roll. It's only a 4.
Oh, okay. takes 3d6 fire. That's a good-ish roll. 12 points of fire damage.
Cool, and that's magical as well, so that goes through.
Indeed it is. And then... just trying to check my second attack. I think it says if you attack with your action, you get a second one. So that counts as an attack, right? Burning Hands.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Cool. In that case, I will I'll spend a key point to do Flurry of Blows and launch two of the hand blasts towards the same tentacle.
Cool.
Tentacle.
So let's say first one's a 28 to hit.
That hits.
And second one is a 29 to hit. Jeez.
Both hit. Are they magical as well, those blasts? I think they are.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even if I were to just punch, I think my fists count as magical as a monk.
Cool. Yeah, I think so, actually. That's a good point.
So first blast damage is 10, second blast damage is 9. 9?
Yeah, it's going to be pretty mundane if like your attacks were just, I'm going to punch. Oh, it's only like
I'm going to
1d6,
punch the Kraken. Yeah.
Anything else from Keenan?
That is...
Take free action as well as the Defiant.
Yes. So I'll tell him to fire the underside guns, I guess.
Yeah, you can set off the belly cannons.
Is that 2 or 1 for me?
So you'd just instruct them and then make one attack. One cannon goes off. Yeah, and Walter could maybe instruct the other one to go off.
What is the hit bonus?
You're going to make me open this up, aren't
you? It was D20. it was plus the pilot's proficiency. So whether it takes your proficiency bonus as you're sub-directing it, just for ease.
Do you know what? Let me open it up. Just let me open it up. Let's have a look. Let's have a look. The gun crew do have proficiency. Did I put it on there? Maybe I need to update the weapons, battering ram, ballista, underside cannons is 4d10. Forward, so both lists can require the gunner proficiency without it. You have disadvantage hit, and you have plus with it. So it's +2 to hit.
+2.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's 40 +2 to hit.
So 12 to hit.
No, so this thing goes boom. The first time you've heard this go off, it's quite impressive. Massive boom reverberation through the air, but it just fires wildly and it doesn't even go near it.
Damn it!
We move on to Volta. So again, take your turn and then free action. You can instruct them to fire if you wish.
Okay, I will cast Innovation.
Okay.
That's it. And it needs to do me a con save, please.
Constitution saving throw is a 15.
It fails, I'm afraid.
Okay.
So any second now. It will do. Oh, you Schweinehund. 10. What kind of damage is it? Necrotic damage.
Okay.
And I regain some hit points, which is very nice indeed. And I will order the cannons to fire.
Yep.
That's a concentration spell, so it lasts for a minute.
Concentration spell.
By the way. Oh, you swine. That was just teetering on that 20, but it came up with a 2. So that's a 4.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean, I think the cannon just misfires. Doesn't even go off this time, I'm afraid. But if there's nothing else from Volta, then we will go to Lily, who is in the water.
So, did it move at all away from me, or
No. It seems very stationary, this thing, but tentacles are flying everywhere.
Okay. I hit it again. It needs to do again a Constitution saving throw, please.
Con save is an 18.
It passes. I do blight again, but seventh level this time. So it is 11 d8s. Just let me roll that.
Cool.
So it's 61 divided by 2. So it's 30. 30 points of necrotic damage, please.
30 points of necrotic damage. Yeah, cool.
So you see,
sort of
Lily is like touching the creature, and dark energy comes out of her hand while it's doing that, draining the area, and it becomes a little bit like an old fruit that becomes little, dry.
And you see this, so underwater, no one can see this, but I mean, you see that it goes into the tentacle and like it starts spreading out, and above the
Yeah.
surface, you see like it starts to turn like prunish,
Yeah.
but like black. So where it's like mottled green and blues before the tentacle, it turns like prune skin, then like all this black, sickly color
Yeah.
sort of like radiates up through the tentacle. Anything else from Lily?
Nope.
Cool. Logan.
Welcome.
So you are
ecosystem.
currently restrained.
I am. What will it take me to get out of this? Is it strength
It
check?
is a DC 20 strength to break free. And bearing in mind, if you break free, you are a straight plunge to the sea.
How does a nat 1 sound?
That
Oh,
one sounds like you're
wait.
pretty well restrained to me.
That's good. You stay
That's a
there.
good roll.
I mean, I'm not going to drown if anything else right now, so I'm happy here. Next person.
Is there any like magic you can cast while you're restrained? Have you got anything like that?
I'm a fighter.
I know, but
Porcupine.
your rune knight might have gave you
No,
some
he
ability.
does
No,
have a
okay.
few things, but it's not. It's situational.
Okie dokie. We come round to the Kraken. Doesn't like what Lily did to it. It's going to try and use an ability. Could you make me a DC 18 Dex save, please, Lily?
Okay. Natural 20.
Natural 20.
And plus 3, 23.
Okay. So it.
Where's Anisha?
You see this bolt of lightning just
Think you told
shriek
to
out
come
of the
down?
depths from the darkness below you. Let me just find my dice for this one.
Oh no, it's like 30 d8 damage.
Not quite so bad. 14.
Yeah, it's just 29.
Yeah.
It's 22 points of lightning damage, halved. So 11.
Okay.
11 points of lightning damage as you see this bolt of lightning come shooting in your direction. And then
You were told to
it's
come down
going to
about 15 minutes
use
ago.
a
something.
legendary action. It
Nisha, I literally heard your mum
expels
ring
this
you.
cloud of ink.
She rang you and said food.
It basically obscures everything. So
She said you never told her.
any creature in the water,
She said you
which
didn't
is
tell her.
Lily at the moment, on your
I heard
next
you
turn,
shout food or something.
must make a DC 18 con save.
Was that at me?
So remind me, must make
Okay.
a DC 18 con save.
Oh,
If
I
you want to
misheard
roll
then.
it now, you can, and I'll tell you the consequences next
Yeah.
time. But, that's its go. Keenan.
Knew you were going to say that.
Funny,
So
that,
trying to
isn't it?
figure out.
I misheard it.
All right, I will. I was still trying to find my second attack thing, to find the wording on it. But I'll just do this for sake of brevity and nix it if it's bad. So I'm going to use Radiant Sunbolt. So aim forward at this tentacle holding onto the ship, and this like massive ball of fiery energy blasts out into it and fills the air around the tentacle.
There's another episode of Stranger Things out.
Can it make a... What's a ranged spell
Left
attack?
behind us.
Ooh! Ooh!
Unless we've, like, what you've watched in the last 2 days.
13. It's right on the edge. That missed, didn't it?
So, did you want me to make a check? Or?
No, it was a ranged spell attack. So it's
Okay.
that's just 13 to
Yeah.
hit.
13's so far off the edge, it's unreal.
Damn it. It was like teetering on 3 and 19.
So feel free, if you've got nothing else to do, feel free to obviously instruct the cannons to go off again.
Oh, I have more to do. Don't you worry about that. So as my second action, I'm going to be pretty pissed that I've missed with this thing. Eyes flare up, wings flare out, and I'm going to jump off the side of the ship, heading down towards where Logan is. Like, wings curled against me as I'm free falling.
So just a reminder, how long does that last, the wings?
I want to say? Yes, 1 minute.
Okay, so
So
you got a few
10
rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
As I go, I'll shout, "Fire the cannons again!"
So go for that then.
All cannons hit Kanan as he dives.
Keep firing!
So +2, isn't it? Oh, not 20. +2, so 22.
Sweet, that hits.
So
So,
they get 22.
so go max damage, then roll it, then we'll have it.
So underside cannons are
40,
4d10.
I think. 40-10. 40-10.
So max damage will be 40?
40.
Jesus.
And then whatever you roll.
Yep. 40d10. That's a lot of dice. 40, 50, 60, 66.
So 33. Yeah, 33.
Yeah.
And which tentacle are you targeting with that? Or do you think... which one do you think?
The one that's holding Logan.
So Logan, you see these cannonballs hammer into the already
These better be a
necrotic
perfect shot on these
tentacle.
cannonballs.
Oh no, it doesn't hit you. No, but you sit and you suddenly take a lunge. You're like, so you're gone wailing around the air and you're like, whoa! As you sort of go like plunging towards the sea, but you don't go in. You don't go in. You like it just sort of catches itself as you go over a bit. Anything else from Keenan?
No, I'm in free fall. I don't know how far I get towards where Logan is.
What's your flying speed? Did we give you a flying speed?
I want to say 30. It says right next to this. I just got to find it.
I'm gonna say if it's free
30
fall,
feet.
if you're free falling, double it like a dash or something like that. So 60.
Okay. So
So you're
don't
pretty
know
much
how
like. Well, I said you went up about 60 feet, so 60. You would probably like end up pretty much like above the water level. So you could almost be below him, ready to catch him if it dropped him. But
I was
let's
kind of
go
hoping that the
to-
cannonballs would dislodge him and I could catch him, but
sadly not. No.
No.
No, I'm afraid not. Let's. Well, I'll tell you what. Let's do a Constitution saving throw for it, and we'll find out. No, not at all. I rolled really badly. Wolfer.
So the elevator's still on it. So either take some more elevating damage, but it's rolling like a pig in a blanket. 22 necrotic.
Right.
And fire the cannons, I guess.
Yeah.
do we need to man the magic missile gun ourselves, or is there a mage there?
There isn't a mage on board. It does require someone that knows magic missile to pump that spell into it and amplify it.
Yeah, that would be none of us.
You might need to recruit a mage.
Yeah, so that cannon misses quite badly.
Okay.
Not terribly badly, but quite badly.
Anything else from water?
No, I think he's maintaining his innovation, his little wibbly wobbly hand thing. You know,
Cool.
I'll do him for now.
Well, in that case, we'll go over to Lily, who is now under the water and must make her DC 18 con save, please.
Oh, yes. Did you say Constitution save?
A Constitution save.
Oh, I think I lost it. 10.
Yes, I'm afraid so. You take 11 points of poison damage
Right?
from this ink that's now dispersing through the water.
11 points.
11 points. And
Okay.
then you can take your turn.
All right. Can I double check with you? If I do a spell, can I do also a cantrip if it is just an action? I mean,
So
if
you
it
can-
is instantaneous.
You can action cast a cantrip and then bonus action a spell.
Okay. They're both instantaneous, so I can do that. All right. So I cast Toll of the Dead. So the Kraken needs to do a wisdom saving throw. So again, there is this sound of bells in the water for some reason.
And it probably doesn't understand it with a 25.
No, it doesn't. Okay, and then I hit it again with Blight, 6th level this time. So it needs to do the Constitution saving throw. Again, the dark energy comes out from my hands.
That's a dirty 20.
Okay, so it takes 10d8 half.
Buddy.
55 half.
55 half would be 22, I believe.
27. Well, 27, 28, depending.
Okay. Maths.
22 would be 44.
It's 27 because
Yes, it would.
the half of 55 is 27.5.
Okay. We don't need a
27.
maths lesson mid-game.
27, Mike.
27, Mike.
I will retake GCSE maths in my leisure time. Now we're playing D&D, okay? Anything else from Lily?
No, that's it.
Okay. Logan. I was going to double check.
I'm gonna do a. Did you say it was a strength check again? Was it?
Yeah, it will be. Lily, just for you, you won't need to make that check again next turn.
Okay.
What's
No
the
point.
requirement?
Just DT 20 strength save.
16.
Is that a 20?
No.
Then you're still straight.
I bite it.
You can bite it if you want. I'd say that's a D6 of bludgeoning. But you have to hit it. You have to break through its tough hide. Its smelly, fishy hide.
It's
I'll
nice and slimy.
4. My teeth just slide into this slime.
Exactly, and you retch a little bit. Give us a con save.
My dice are cursed. It's 10.
I think you probably hold your stomach, but it's a bit like as you do so. We go round to the beast itself. This necrotic arm where you felt it drop. You start to feel all of a sudden it sort of drops a little bit further before the sudden rush. It flings and then releases. You go 40 feet. So that's 4d6 bludgeoning damage. 46 bludgeoning damage as you are flung 40 feet through the air and into the water. You're now 40 feet away from it.
It got you with its good arm.
Well,
What?
have you rolled it? Have you rolled it, or do you want me to roll it?
Who is
You
rolling?
muted, Steve.
I forget that I was on push to talk. You roll it.
Oh, okay. For Christ's sake.
Sorry, I'm not used to this this push business.
12. 15 points of bludgeoning damage as you're flung 40 feet through the air, away, closer to the shore than anything else. Pardon me. So that's okay, that's fine. And then you sort of see the tentacles drag across further as the ship moves with it, and then it will. So what have we got so far? Keenan's near the sea. Volta's up on the airship. Lily's in the sea, been poisoned. I think it's gonna make a tentacle attack as this other tentacle comes up for Keenan.
Of course it does.
And tries to smack you. It actually fails miserably with only a 8 to hit. Sorry, not an 8, a 13 to hit. Sorry.
No.
No, so you see his tentacle come up next to you, and you're like, ooh, as it tries, but fails. And it will take a legendary action to try and do that one more time with another tentacle at Keenan. This time it's a 12. That's a 17 to hit.
Just misses.
Just missed again. So a second tentacle. So you sort of you dodge to one side, another one comes up, you're like, oh shit, and you dodge to the other side, but you get right out of the way of both of them. We move on to Keenan now.
Okay. So I want to punch the second tentacle as it goes past me.
Yeah.
But as I do so with my other hand, I touch the symbol of Pelor on my chest, and I use the branding smite, the blinding smite, as I do so. So it adds 3d8 radiant damage, and it needs to make a con save.
A Constitution saving throw.
I'll do the unarmed strike first, actually, to see if it 17 to 17 hit.
17 does not hit.
Fuck!
and it's Constitution saving throw. It's a 21.
No, only if I hit it would have been relevant. That's annoying.
There is, but in America.
As a note, you're not on the Defiant either, so you don't benefit from instructing.
That's fine.
Fire either.
I will as soon as I've landed, or not landed the punch in this case, I will start flying towards Logan, and I'll launch another one of the searing sunbursts behind me towards the tentacles.
Yeah.
Was this not a ranged spell attack? Maybe I shouldn't have done that before. You magic with an orb of light and hurl it at the point you choose within 150 feet where it erupts.
That sounds like range to me.
It's not a ranged spell attack though. It doesn't have a
Well,
on the
if you can do it
table.
at a point at 150 feet away from you.
It's just a con save.
Okay, well I'll make a con save then.
That means on the boat I probably should have done that.
Con save is a is a 12.
Trying to find my. Where does it say what the DC is for it on D&D Beyond?
It's usually on the spell stat block somewhere.
It's
So,
usually like at the top of that area, isn't it?
Yeah, for example, if you like magic missile, it would say the DC is in the description basically. But for you, being a monk, it will be dexterity or charisma.
Oh,
as your
16. What did he roll?
what did I say? It was a 12.
Oh, so it takes full damage, which isn't that much to be fair. 2d6.
Ooh,
I have my wings out, so it does a bit more. So 6 radiant there, and because I've got radiant soul out, it also takes another 15. So 21.
21 points of Damagios. Yeah, I mean, so far you just got tentacles flying around. Like, the damage you've been doing to it. You see a few limp tentacles, perhaps, particularly the necrotic one, but it doesn't seem to be giving up. We got Wolfer next, and then it's already
11.
on 11. So, do you want to do Wolfer, and then we'll start next session at the top of a new round of combat?
Why ever not? Why ever not? So I will, instead of casting Innovate, I will cast 3 Eldritch Blasts at his face. So first one will probably... Oh, you're fine. 20. Dirty 20.
To hits, yeah?
And that will do a very fantastic 8 points of Eldritchness.
Mm-hmm.
And the second one is absolute get back, another 20.
Yeah, that hits.
And that will do 20 damage, which is lovely. And that one, it rolls so slowly. Will be you're fine. Absolute fine, a 16.
16 to hit does not hit.
That's okay, but the first 2 did, didn't they?
The first 2 absolutely.
So I would love to hurl it through hell.
No way.
Yes!
Bye, Kraken!
Yeah. Bye.
Goodbye, my Kraken.
When the DM laughs,
Goodbye, my
it's bad.
friend.
But when his face drops like that,
Well, hold on. So it's a strength save, is it not? Not a strength save. What was it you said it was last time?
There is no save from Home from Hell.
Oh, okay.
It holds it. It just has. I just have to do a hit with a spell.
And how long does it last? 1 round.
It's 1 round, and when it returns, it takes 10d10 psychic damage.
1 round. So that's 1 complete round from you to the next time round, yeah?
Yeah.
And it's how much psychic damage?
10d10.
10d10. So this, you see the airship being dragged through the air, and then just this horrendously dark-looking spell comes off the deck of the Defiant as the tentacles seemingly vanish. Lily underneath the water, it goes calm. The bubbles stop, the swishing and the swaying goes, and you're just in the dark waters of the sea. And for Walter on the board of the ship, it rights itself. Again, quite violently, but it rights itself. The strain gone from the engines, and people...
Climb a little higher!
please tell me as it was tethered to it, it gets pulled through hell as well.
Well, no. It's only the creature itself. The creature itself vanishes from existence.
I will get you back for killing my horse one day.
But not this day.
This is not that day.
The ship writes, for now, the creature is gone.
Logan, are you drowning?
No, I was only 15 foot from shore.
So are you swimming there?
Swim
But-
away!
We will leave it there, and we will start next session, top of the round.
Do you want me to roll the
Lily.
damage now for you to take it off?
Let's do it.
Because I may not remember, and 10d10 might be a lot to remember. A lot to miss out on.
We'll go on then. Do 10d10. Do 10d10.
Yeah, just so you've got a closing
And the
sum
night
for
on
when
a
it
high.
comes.
Let's kill it.
Send them out on a high with some damage. It might not work out that well, though. It is 40.
40 points.
40 points of psychic goodness.
So that would put that at that's where we're going to leave that one then. Hopefully, for anyone watching, that was a bit of fun there. The guys fighting a Kraken.
Lovingly named Phil.
Yep, love Phil.
I mean, for me, that was quite a bit of fun. I mean, I hope you guys had fun.
And we didn't die.
We didn't
And
die
no,
yet.
No.
I did send an ominous text, I think, to Mr. B last week. So if you had the ability to
was
max out your damage,
horrific.
what would be the max amount of damage you could
Completely
do
out
in
of the
one
blue.
go?
It was worded so bad. Like, out of nowhere, it literally just says, purely theoretical, of course, but if you used absolutely everything, how much would you do? I was like, oh shit, this is bad.
I will tell you now, this is a bag of hit points, and you know, it's still got quite a few left to go.
Don't worry.
Well, there is
However-
always a secret in our sleeve, so
Volta's little move there to banish it to hell for a round actually saved. I had the big cliffhanger was going to be a opposed strength save. One of you was going to make a strength save. I was going to do the opposing one. If you failed, the Defiant was going to be pulled down and potentially submerged.
That's why I told them to climb a little higher next time. You know.
That was the idea. I was going to try and sink the ship. But you avoided that by sending the creature through hell. So well
don't
done.
worry, Lily's here.
So, 2 rounds.
So, yeah, we fought a Kraken. We survived so far. There's a fair bit
We
going
will
on.
start.
It's
We are going to
currently
start in
hurling
combat next time. So
Yeah, it's hurling through hell. So for today, thank you to Septimus over there.
Good night.
Captain Dan face up there.
Good night, Aragog,
What?
king of the arachnids.
You freak. Where did that come from?
It's Harry Potter, isn't it?
I should not have said that. Is Steve Cobbs as Walther up top?
Cheers. Good night.
The usual thanks to Captain Gingerbeard for writing, putting up with my random shit and everyone else's, and throwing all this together. And I have been Gilded Branches Logan. Today we are not raiding anyone because I don't know anyone who's live. I did search for some other D&D players, but there's not many going on at the moment. I believe, Mike, are we back next Tuesday?
we can be if everyone's happy to be, because that would be the normal week. This is obviously the Ice Spire week for Corbs. So if you want to be back next week, if everyone's happy, we can do next week. We can conclude this combat and see what happens next. Corbs, how are you feeling about that?
Yeah, should be okay. We'll go on to the normal week again. You know.
Then the next week we can do some more Vaybaba. I want to say personally thank you to everyone who's. I think we've had 2 possible
3
subscriptions.
followers, a
3
sub,
followers.
and a fair bit of modding. So thank you all.
Yeah, there was a lot of modding. I saw that in the chat. There was a bit of modding going on. So
Also,
well done to our mods and thank you everyone.
it's pretty random with time zones and stuff, but we've got Sinful Phoenix in the chat who will be streaming in about 11 hours with the Vimesy, who we used to play a Minecraft roleplay together. So go check her out if you're up at stupid o'clock English morning time. But on that, we'll see you next week, and goodbye.
Bye.